Are you feeling maybe a bit angry, frustrated, or annoyed with something? Well, today I'm going to talk about choosing love over significance. And if you stay until the very end, I have an extra point for you then as well. Now, I've realized in my life how many times I've been living out of significance rather than fear, rather than love, right? And actually, I realized significance comes from fear. Significance, trying to be like important, there's different ways to get significance, but often significance I found in my life was like trying to say, oh, look at me, I'm so great, all these kind of things, right? And I'm not going to lie, there's elements of that in me now, right? It's I want to do well, I want to really see how well I do, but as long as it's not from a place of putting other people down, which it isn't, I think there could be a healthy balance in there, right? But I realized there's so many times in my life that I would be trying to get significance, importance, recognition from other people because of the lack of love towards myself, or the lack of love I felt from others as well, which starts from myself. And unfortunately, it's something I've observed from many, many people, particularly in social media. We live in this significance driven world. It's like, I'm going to teach you how to get like $50,000 in like a week or whatever, right? Or maybe more, $500,000 in like a week or whatever. Or like, I made this, and this, or I grew my business over that. Like, there is so much of that out there. And, some of it is like in the marketing and trying to get people in, and quite a lot of it, in honest, knowing like working in a decent business, working for a decent business, and, doing coaching myself. I know there's quite a lot of fake stuff out there, and people exaggerating stuff. So yeah, we live in quite a dominant, significance like driven society. Let's be honest about it. Now, when I've chosen love and coming from a place of love, that's made a massive difference. The challenge is that can be very hard, especially when maybe you've had a setback, someone said something harsh, because we get on our guard. We're like, right, okay, right, something bad's going to happen, so therefore we get a bit fearful, and then we might be driven more from an ego kind of perspective, trying to really fight back against things. Yeah, I found it does not create a good quality of life. The best quality of life, or the best moments I've had, is when I've had true connections with other people, and most importantly myself. Now, I'm going to do some breath work tonight, which is great because that really creates deep connection with myself. It goes deep into my body. Right. So I want to really talk about how to get more into a state of love, get connected to the heart rather than being in significance, which is actually fear. Now ask yourself this: when you've been in more of a significance place than a love-based place, how does that feel? Probably not so good, even if you're like getting some short-term success, which I've done. I've been like, oh, look at me, I'm doing this, this, and this. It does feel good for a little bit, but actually long time, it's not very fulfilling. When you choose love, it makes a massive difference personally for me. So here's just some very simple tips. The first one, connect to love daily. It's very simple, but easily looked over. Just sit with yourself, even at 5-10 minutes, and just connect to love. Say, I have the intention to connect to love. And when you connect to love, feel into it, feel into loving yourself, feel into loving as many people as possible. It may not be easy at first, but the more you do it, the more you're going to feel into it. So connect with your heart and start connecting to love. The second thing, do joyful things. Don't do things to look good. Do things that you genuinely enjoy. I talked about this in another recent episode. All right, don't just be like doing things that other people are saying they enjoy or you think you should be doing to enjoy yourself. Do things that feel good to you. Because the more you can do things that feel good to you, the more you're going to be connected to love rather than trying to prove yourself. And then the third thing, keep checking in. Just keep checking in throughout the day. Like when you're making decisions, am I making a decision here out of love or out of fear? And you'll know. As someone who's got like sales, project management, coaching background, and being coached myself, I'm always going to have a coach. I can tell when I'm making a decision, and you can too if you listen to yourself. It's like, right, I want to go for this job or that job. Right, if you listen to yourself, and quite a lot of it is noise that's been conditioned into us, and you'll be like, I better go for that job because it'll give me more salary and all that kind of thing. And actually, maybe your parents or your friends are saying you should go for it. You're like, I want to look good to them. that's actually a decision out of fear, because it's fear of like not looking good enough, not showing off, when actually there might be another job. This is just a job example, which maybe it's less salary, maybe it's less popular, you won't look as good, but actually your heart's like, I really want to do that. I feel really good about this. That'd be a decision out of love. Sometimes people in your life, you have to make a decision out of fear of love. It's like, okay, I'm gonna, and not necessarily an intimate or romantic setting, but even like friendships and stuff. Sometimes I'm just like to people, look, I can't talk to you, and it's a decision out of love for myself. I don't say it like that. I probably would it better, but it's like, yeah, look, I'll let you know if I'm free in future. Just at the moment, I'm really protecting my energy and saving my time. The old me would have been like, oh yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. But now I'm very protective, and that's a decision out of love for myself. And when I love myself, I can therefore love other people who, I want to give as much time as possible. Whilst actually the decision out of fear is like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you, yeah. And then you're exhausting yourself. That's the fear of rejection or someone getting upset because you say no to them. I'm very good at saying no to like people now, so it's something you can build up, right? So keep checking in. Are you making a decision out of love or fear, i.e., significance as well? The final one is hang out with people who are very like genuinely loving, joyful people more often, and it's going to rub off on you. It's very simple, but very overlooked, because we get in such unconscious habits. We're like, okay, I'm hanging out with those people, and that's who I always hang out with. Well, actually, maybe you change your approach and you hang out with different people, right? Just try that, right? So those are the points I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You'll improve your other people in your life by working on yourself as a man. And remember, lead with your heart, not with fear.